Good morning, students. Today I am going to start a second chapter, part number 2 from Flamingo, and the title of the chapter is chapter number 5, Indigo, written by Louis Fisher. I have done the first part, part number 1. You just go through it so that you can understand this part 2 also. Uh, the Indigo. What is the brief story that I have told in the previous video also? This story is based on the interview taken by Louis Fisher of Mahatma Gandhi. It was in order to write uh, on him, right? The Louis Fisher visited him, means that is the Gandhiji, in 1942 at his ashram, and the name of that ashram is Sevagram, where he was told about the Indigo movement. Now, this title is given from the title of the movement, which was started by Gandhiji, and that is the title is that Indigo movement, and that is why he has given the title Indigo, right? Now the story revolves around the struggles of Gandhiji and other prominent leaders in order to safeguard the sharecroppers from the atrocities of landlords, right? जो sharecroppers है उसको बचाने के लिए they are fighting and they are having a movement, and that is called Indigo movement. All night we have stopped here. All night Gandhi remained awake. Now he went to one person home, that is the Bihar. So वहाँ पे that he was remained awake. He couldn't sleep. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar with influential friends. Now he requested Rajendra Prasad to come Bihar. He sent instruction to Ashram. He also handling the other things at ashram also. He viewed he wired a full report to the viceroy, right? He also written a report on it. Morning found the town of Motihari black with peasants. Now, in the morning, he found there are so many peasants, or you can say the sharecroppers, who came in support of the Gandhiji. They did not know Gandhi's record in South Africa. They are not knowing about that who is Gandhiji and what was his record in South Africa. We know that what happened in South Africa. He is a lawyer. They had merely heard that a Mahatma who wanted to help them was in trouble with the authorities. Now they are only knowing that there is one man whose name is Mahatma Gandhiji and who is going to help them. Right now he is in trouble with the authority of British authorities, right? The spontaneous demonstration in thousands around the courthouse was the beginning of their liberation from fear of British. Now, this was the movement which was started when he gave a summons, or you can say the speech, spontaneous demonstration around the courthouse. Courthouse के बाहर जो उन्होंने demonstration speech दी थी, that was the beginning of the liberation. Okay, that is the liberation of the sharecroppers and from the fear of the Britishers. Okay, going further, the officials felt powerless without Gandhiji's cooperation. Now the officials are really very feeling powerless because Gandhiji is not cooperating. He is not going to leave this village. So they are also feeling that they are powerless. He helped that regulate the crowd. Now he is helping them to regulate the crowd because it is very difficult to manage the crowd and regulate the crowd. That is also a peasants. He was polite and friendly. He was giving them concrete proof that their might, his road, dreaded and unquestioned, could be challenged by Indians. Now, uh, you can see that as a lawyer, this type of characteristic you can find in Mahatma Gandhi. So he is very clear, he is very polite and friendly, and whatever things he was telling, that is unquestionable. There will be no challenge by any Indians when he was speaking spontaneously. The government was baffled. Even the government was also very baffled, but they are also confused by the talk, or by the things, that the proof that he was giving. The prosecutor accuser requested the judge to postpone the trial. Now, right now, the prosecutor do not have any proof to against the Gandhiji. That's why they have postponed this trial, that case against the Gandhiji. I will just imagine how is the scenario was when the Gandhiji have all the proof and the opposite party do not have any proof to say against and to offend him. Apparently, the authorities wish to consult their superiors. Now they don't have uh, any suggestions, so they want to consult their superiors to handle this case, Gandhiji's case. Gandhi protested against the delay. Now he was also protesting that you cannot delay the case because right now he is in the court and the judgment must be passed. So pass. So he said he protested that why you are delaying, because why they are delaying, because they don't have any answer, they don't have any proof of Gandhiji's questions. That is why he is delaying. He read a statement pleading guilty. Now he had one statement and he was reading that statement. He was involved. He told the court in a conflict of duties. On the one hand, not to set a bad example. Now here he has given one statement, and in which he agreed that he told the court in the conflict of duties, on the one hand, not to set bad example as a lawbreaker. Now I am a lawyer, so not do not don't set a bad example as a lawbreaker. Now you are breaking the laws, that you are not going to continue this prosecution and judgment pass. So you are setting a bad example and conflict of duties, that he read one statement. On the other hand, to render the humanitarian and national service for which he had come. Now you don't break the law, because this law is for the humanitarian and national service for which he had come, and that is why this is the motto of this law and this court, and that is why I am coming here, and you are not allowed to break the law. It is regarded the order to live, not for want to respect for lawful authority, but in obedience to higher law of our being, the voice of conscience. He asked the penalty due. Now here he disregarded to the order to live. Now he is disregarding to live the order, because not for want of respect for lawful authority. Now because you are not respecting the authority of law, but in obedience to higher law of our being, the voice of conscience. Now we have to abide, or we have to obedience to give obedience to the voice of conscience, that is the law of our being. He asked the penalty due. He was also asking for penalty due. The magistrate announced that he will pronounce sentence after the 2-hour recess, and asked Gandhi to furnish bail for those 120 minutes. Gandhi refused, and the judge released him without bail. Now, the magistrate announced recess, and the Gandhiji denied it, and then after Gandhiji refused it, and the judge released him without bail. Now, furnish bail के लिए गांधी को बोला, and then Gandhiji refused it, and then after the magistrate released him without bail. When the court reconvened, the judge said he would not deliver the judgment for several days. Now again the court was there and reconvened. Convened again, it was started. That time the judge said that I am not going to deliver any judgment for several days. Now meanwhile he allowed Gandhiji to remain at liberty, and in this time Gandhiji can stay and in a liberty, that they are giving the freedom to Gandhiji to stay here. Rajendra Prasad, Brij Kishore Babu, Maulana Mazharul Haq, and several other prominent lawyers has arrived from Bihar, and so many other respected and very knowledgeable lawyers came to Bihar to support the Gandhiji. They confirmed with Gandhiji. They talked to the Gandhiji what exactly the matter was, what would they do if he was sentenced to prison? Now, if what happened if they will give the judgment after several days for sentence to prison? Gandhiji asked. Why the senior lawyer replied, they had come to advise and help him. If he went to jail, there would be nobody to advise and they would go home. Now you just imagine, I called him, you all to advise him and help him. Okay, if he went to jail, then who would going to advise them? And nobody is there to advise except the Gandhiji. Then what happened? They would go home without hopelessness. Now, what they would go home, that is the Gandhiji was talking about the peasants or sharecroppers. What about the injustice to the sharecroppers? Now, the Gandhiji was talking about what about the injustice to the sharecroppers that they are facing. Gandhiji demanded that he was talking about the injustice was done to the sharecroppers. The lawyers withdrew the consult. Rajendra Prasad had recorded the upshot of their consultation. They thought among themselves that Gandhiji was totally a stranger, and yet he was prepared to go to prison for the sake of the peasants. Now here the Rajendra Prasad was thinking that he is a new guy, right? Gandhiji was not knowing by this peasant, but this Rajendra Prasad is a good lawyer for knowing to the peasants. But now Rajendra Prasad thought that this Gandhiji was totally stranger, yet he is prepared to go prison for the sake of this sharecropper and for the justice of these peasants. If they, on the other hand, being not only residents of the adjoining district, but also those who claim to have served this prison. Now you can see that this is the people, that is Rajendra Prasad and other lawyers, Brij Kishore Babu. They are working as a residents of this Bihar as well as adjoining district का जो पूरा है, they are serving there and to serve this prison from should go home. Now that is that the thing that they should go home, it would be shameful desertion. Now, if these people are here and if Gandhiji will be in a prison or in a jail and they are going away without getting a justice, then this is a really shameful decision for our lawyers, that is the Rajendra Prasad and Brij, that we are from this district and we are not supporting the people or we are not supporting the peasant, and the person Gandhiji who is a stranger who is still prepared to go prison for the this peasant. They accordingly went back to Gandhiji and told him they were ready to follow him into jail. Now, after the discussion with the other Rajendra Prasad and other lawyers, they said that we're ready to follow him into jail. The battle of Champaran is won, and then after that battle, the movement is won. He exclaimed, उसको उन्होंने exclaim किया. Then he took a piece of paper and divided the group into pairs and put down the order in which each pair was to court arrest. Now, क्या हुआ? Then after they took a piece of paper, divided the group in a pair and pairs में divide किया, put down the order. उसमें एक order write किया in which each pair was to court arrest. Now उसमें सभी pairs को court arrest करेगी. Now pair मतलब जो other lawyers है, that is also follow him into jail. Several days later, Gandhi received a written communication from the magistrates informing that the lieutenant governor of the province had ordered the case to be dropped. Now, several days now, बोला था ना, I will not give that the magistrate says that I will not give the judgment for several days. But after several days, they got one written communication from the lieutenant governor of province that the case to be dropped. Case को क्या कर दिया? Dropped कर दिया. Civil disobedience had threatened the first time in the modern India. Now, this is the first time happened in modern India. Gandhi and the lawyer now proceeded to conduct a far-flung inquiry into the grievance of the farmers. Now, they are not knowing exactly the deepness of this matter. So, they are full-fledged. They have started the inquiry of this matter. Disposition by about 10,000 peasants were written down and notes made on other evidence. Now there they found some of the things that disposition of 10,000 peasants were written and notes made on other evidence. and दूसरे कोई evidence पे उन्होंने notes बनाई थी, right? Documents were collected. So many documents were collected from the peasants or other inquiry. The whole area throbbed with the activity of the investigators and the vehement protest of the landlord. Now you can imagine that how was the situation that the investigation is going on, activity is going on. So the whole area was throbbed. In June, Gandhiji was summoned to Sir Edward Gate, the Lieutenant Governor. Now उनको एक दूसरा सम्मान मिलता है in June में by Lieutenant Governor. Before he went, he met leading associates and again laid detailed plans for civil disobedience if he should not return. Now, before going for the court, he had decided what to do if he is not coming back or if he is not returned. So he laid one detailed plan with the leading associates. So that is the Rajendra Prasad and other lawyers. Gandhi had four protected interviews with the Lieutenant Governor, who, as a result, appointed an official commission of inquiry into the Indigo sharecropper situation. So there were at least four protected interviews with the Gandhiji and Lieutenant Governor, and after that, they officials of inquiry into as a result they have legally appointed one official commission to inquiring about into the legal Indigo sharecropper situation. Now, what exactly the thing is going on? So there was one official commission. The commission consisted of landlords, governor officials, and Gandhi as the sole representative of the peasants. Now, who are the official commissions? Now, who are these? This commission is consisted. कौन-कौन शामिल होता है? That is the landlord, that government official उसमें होगा, और Gandhi ji is also as a representative. Gandhi ji कौन है? He is the representative of the peasants. ये पूरी body उन्होंने present की है. Gandhi remained a Champaran for an initial uninterrupted period of 7 months and then again for several shorter visits. Now for 7 months he was stayed there and there will be no interruption from this commission, and then after he again went to his ashram and several times he visits to the here Champaran. The visit undertaken casually on an entreaty of an unlettered peasant in the expectation that it would last a few days occupied almost a year of Gandhiji's life. Now, that is at least for 1 year, he was doing this visit for several times, and whenever he got any unlettered peasants and in their expectation, he visits and occupied almost a year of Gandhiji's life. 1 year he had service, he has given a service for this matter and in Champaran. The official inquiry assembled a crushing mountain of evidence against the big planter, and when they saw this, they agreed in principle to make refund to the peasant. Now, after this inquiry, they got a big mountain of evidence. Now, there are so many evidence they found, and against the big planter. So those are the landlords. Against they got the evidence, and when they saw this, they agreed. And now they are agreeing with the matter which Gandhiji was talking about, and they are agreed to make refund to the peasants. And now they have to refund the peasants for whatever the money they have taken away. But how much must we pay? They asked Gandhiji. They were asking that we are ready to refund the peasant, but how much must we pay? They thought he would demand repay in full of the money which they had illegally and deceitfully extorted from the sharecroppers. Now, they are thinking that this is the commission, and the landlords are thinking that the Gandhiji will ask about the money, full money, that whatever the illegally they have taken away from the sharecroppers. But he asked only 50%. And he said only 50%. Then he seemed adamant. writes Reverend J.R. Bose, a British missionary in Champaran who observed the entire episode at close range. There is one missionary and whose name is Reverend J.J. Hodge. That he is looking this episode at what is going activity, and he said that he seemed adamant, thinking probably that he would not give way. The representative of the planters offered to refund to the extent of 25%. Now, the landlords or the planters, those who have cheated on the peasants, they are thinking that they will give 25%, but Gandhiji was asking 50%. To his amazement, Mr. Gandhi took him at his word, thus breaking the deadlock. Now he stick to his word that this is very amazement for the lawyers. The settlement was adopted unanimously by the commission, and this settlement was adopted by the commission. Gandhi explained that the amount of refund was less important than the fact that the landlords have been obliged to surrender part of the money and with it part of their prestige. Now this is just about not only money or refund, but it is about the peasants' priority that they are have to surrender part of the money, but the part of their this is the matter of their prestige. Therefore, as far as the peasants were concerned, the planters had behaved as lost a lord above the law. Now that is why, though this is peasants' land, but the planters are behaving like a lords, and that is a really a very good, or sorry, really very bad thing was done by the planters. Now the peasant saw that he had rights and defender. He learned courage. Now before that, the peasants were very afraid to speak in front of the Britishers and the planters, but now they got courage from Gandhiji and this settlement. Events justified Gandhiji's position. Within a few years, the Britisher planters abandoned their estates, which reverted to the peasant. Indigo sharecroppers disappeared. Now, after that, Gandhiji, everybody that the British planters are come to know. They come to know that the reality of Gandhiji's position, and they himself abandoned when they lived their estates, and which reverted when they leave they just again come to the peasant, and after many times this indigo sharecropping disappear. So this type of planters and peasants, this indigo sharecropping is disappeared. Gandhi never contented himself with a large political or economic solution. He saw the cultural and social background in the Champaran villages and wanted to do something about it immediately. He was not never contented. He was not satisfied with the large and political economic solution. He was thinking about the cultural and social background of the Champaran village and wanted to do something immediately. He appealed for teachers, Mahadev Desai and Narhi Parekh, two young men who had just joined Gandhi as a disciple. Now he was Now he was requesting this Mahadev and Narhari Parekh, those who are the disciples of Gandhiji who have joined him, and their wives and unki wives volunteer for the work, and they are ready to work as a teacher for this Champaran village. Several more came from Bombay, Pune, and other distant part of the land, and other people who are would like to work as a disciple of Gandhiji. They also come here and from distant places. Devadas, Gandhiji's youngest son, arrived from the ashram, and so did Mrs. Gandhi. And then after Devadas, Uska youngest son, they also come from ashram. Primary schools were open in 6 villages. Primary schools they have started. Kasturbai taught the ashram rules on the personal cleanliness and community sanitization. Now, Kasturba is also teaching them the cleanliness and personal cleanliness and sanitization. Okay, so this is a very good initiative was started by Gandhiji and his family. Health conditions were miserable. Now, during that time, malnourishment was there, so health condition was very miserable. Gandhi got a doctor to volunteer his service for 6 months. He also have one doctor who is volunteer who worked here for 6 months. Three medicines were available: castor oil, quinine, and sulfur ointment. Anybody who sewed a coated tongue was given a dose of castor oil. Okay, sore coated. Agar if you have any problem regarding the tongue coated tongue, then castor oil that is given. Anybody with malaria fever received quinine plus castor oil. Okay, so that this is the thing they are giving. Anybody with skin eruption received ointment plus castor oil. Now this type of medicine was given by the one volunteer, that is a doctor. Gandhi noticed the 50 state of women's clothes. He asked Kasturbai to talk to them about it. Now he was also noticing about the filthy state of now very poor condition of women's clothes. So he asked Kasturbai to talk to them about it. One woman took Kasturbai into her hut and said, "Look, there is no box or cupboard here for clothes. The sari I am wearing is just only one I have." Now, to knowing about what is the real situation of the people and most probably girl, right, women. So he asked Kasturbai to look at this matter, and when she went to one of the villagers girls house hut, and then she said that we don't have any box to put our clothes, and even more probably that not only about the box, even we don't have a more sari. I have only one sari which I am wearing now. During this long stay in Champaran, Gandhi kept a long distance watch on the ashram. Now, though he was staying at Champaran, but he had a distance watch at the ashram. You just imagine how he can handle. He sent regular instruction by mail and asked for financial accounts. Now, he was also sending mails and letters for financial accounts and other work. Once he wrote to the residents that it was time to fill in the old latrine trenches and dig new ones, otherwise the old ones would begin to smell bad. Now जो टॉयलेट का जो well आता है that will be changed, and that is why he was also in, instructing them to dig new one, otherwise there will be begin smell bad. Okay, stinking, it starts stinking. The Champaran episode was a turning point in Gandhiji's life. Now, this was a very turning point for him. What I did, he explained, was a very ordinary thing. I declared that the British could not order me about in my own country. Right? Now, he said that you are no one, Britishers, you are no one to tell me what should I do and what should I not. This is my country, and no one here to order me about in my own country. But Champaran did not begin as an act of defiance. It grew out an attempt to alleviate the distress of large number of poor peasants. Now, uh, it is started and it is a distress of now large number of poor peasants. This was the typical Gandhiji pattern. His politics were intertwined with the practical day-to-day problems of the millions. Now he was also thinking about other problems day-to-day life, the way he was thinking about the women, the way he was thinking about the health and the cleanliness. Now, so he is not only thinking about the political, but his practical problems of the millions. His was not a loyalty of abstractions. It was a loyalty to living human beings. In everything Gandhi did, moreover, he tried to mold a new free Indian who could stand on his own feet and thus make India free. Now, this is his motto, to make the India free from the clutches of this Britishers. Not only that, but also to free Indian who can stand on his own feet. There will be no other that mold. We would like to mold the Indian people. Early in the Champaran action, Charles Freer Andrews, the English pacifist who had become a devoted follower of Mahatma Gandhi, came to bid Gandhi farewell before going on a tour of duty to the Fiji island. So there was one during this Champaran action, there was one devotee and a follower of Mahatma Gandhi, and whose name is Charles, and he bade goodbye to Gandhiji as he was going in a tour for a Fiji island. Okay. Gandhi's lawyer friends thought it would be a good idea for Andrews to stay in Champara and help them. Now they are thinking that if he is a good friend of Gandhiji, then he should stay Champaran and he can help them for the other work. Andrew was willing if Gandhi agreed. Now Andrew was very happy and he was willing to agree to stay with Gandhi. But Gandhi was vehemently opposed. Now he was very strictly opposed it. He said, "You think that in this unequal fight it would be helpful if we have an Englishman on our side?" Now it is really unequal fight now because we are Indian and you are Britishers, and one Englishman is with us. Then this will be not an equal fight. This will be the unequal fight. So I am not suggesting this thing. Uh, this shows the weakness of your heart, and that is why it shows that this is the weakness. The cause is just, and you must rely upon yourself to win the battle. And it is you have to rely on your battle to win your battle. We should not seek a prop in Mr. Sandro because he happens to be an Englishman. Now, when this other people were thinking about that Englishman should Andrew should stay here. So that time Gandhiji was saying that you should rely on yourself. You Indians, we Indians have to rely. We have to think about and have confidence in our work that we can win this battle without the help of the Englishman. He had read our minds correctly, Rajendra Prasad comment, and we had no reply. Gandhi, in this way, taught of a lesson in self-reliance. Now, you just imagine Rajendra Prasad was seeing that he had reading and he had read our mind correctly, and right now Gandhiji is he don't have and we don't have any comments on what should reply on this matter that you should rely on upon yourself to win the battle, not on the Englishman. Gandhiji in this way taught a lesson about the self-reliance. Okay, this is a very self-reliance lesson we got from this